Okay, so it's this is 10 Secrets to Powerful Business Writing, and we're just going over what the course will cover. So, all right. We have several modules. So the first module is the elements of structure is secrets, elements of structure is secrets 1 through 4. So essentially this is the framework, okay? If you have a house, you need to get the lumber, you need to get your concrete base, you need to get the roof and the shingles. This is the framework of what you're writing. The second part is elements of style. So this is secrets 5 through 9. And this is, think about this like maybe the interior walls, non-load bearing walls, furniture, okay, the feng shui of how things move through the house. This is your words, your word choice, your sentences, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the second module. And the third module is elements of editing. And this is where we look at specifically some pieces from your organization, pieces that people wrote for your organization and how the 10 secrets could improve them. But also I looked at your own writing sample, and we're going to go over that in detail and apply all the 10 secrets to it. Okay?
Great.
And finally, throughout, we have how our secrets apply in email. Okay? So,
Great.
I'm just going to stop sharing for a bit. All right, so now let's think about today's business world compared to, say, 35 years ago. 35 years ago, how did people communicate in business?
Largely by telephone.
I ask this question now, and lots of times people weren't even born in 1985. But yeah, telephone, and what kind of telephone?
Not a cellular wireless telephone.
Right, it was attached to the wall with a curly cord. So yeah, it was telephone and
face-to-face, and also fax machines, I think.
Yep. Okay, and that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
A lot more, I think, face-to-face.
And
yeah.
how else could they write to each other?
Now they could write letters.
Write letters and fax.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it, right?
Indeed.
So nowadays, so do you think writing in the business world today is more or less important than it was 35 years ago?
Today, more important. Okay,
so what do we have now that is text-based that we didn't have then?
We have smartphones. We have tablets. We have laptops and desktops.
Computers. We didn't even have computers in 85, pretty much.
Yeah.
It took a whole room to have a computer. Yes, text, Twitter, Slack, Google Docs, email. So these days, studies show that business communication is 80% more written than verbal. So writing is even more important than it ever has been, and it's only getting more important. Another reason that written communications are becoming much more popular is because they're asynchronous. So you and I are communicating right now synchronously because we agreed to be here at the same time to talk. But much easier to have asynchronous. And that really depends on typing something up so that each of us can look at it on our own time.
Right.
It's only getting more important to have writing skills in this business world. Okay, so turn the page and we're going to look at the first secret.
What was the term you used? Asynchronous? No.
Asynchronous. So
asynchronous.
Not synchronous. You don't have to be synchronized with the other person. Okay, and I'm going to put the book. Okay, here we are. We're on the first secret. Okay, here's the scene. You are President of the United States. You begin your day reviewing a stack of memos and letters. Among them is the cover letter you will see on the next page. As president, you have lots of documents competing for your attention and lots of other matters to deal with in the presidential day ahead of you. By the way, what you see is a real letter to a real U.S. president. So take a power swivel in your presidential chair, then put on your presidential glasses and begin reading. Read at your normal pace, and this is not a test of your reading ability. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Okay, I am sorry, Mr. Trump. There has been an interruption. Some really serious VIPs are here to see you. It's Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. I believe you're going to have to take this meeting, and you may not get back to this memo today, if ever. Okay?
Well, guess I'm going to have to scrap it.
So turn the page. And what we're going to do is give this a grade, okay? So from your viewpoint as the reader, in this case, as president of a large country, rate how well the writer succeeded in catching the attention of a busy reader. Go ahead and do this on your own, all three of those, and then we'll review when you're done.
Okay, I'm done.
You're done. Okay. So did you give it any 10s?
No.
Okay. 9s?
No.
8s?
No.
7s?
No.
2s?
No.
5, 4, 3s?
I gave it a 2 for catching the attention.
Okay.
I gave it a 2 for getting a sharp, clear message across, and I gave it a 3 for presenting a document that was easy to read.
Okay. All right. So essentially, you failed this, and it's understandable. It's DOA, right? Dead on arrival. But your low marks that you're giving it are the symptoms. But we need to figure out what was the cause of death, right? What killed this? So we've got a brand new franchise in the CSI TV series. It's called CSI Writers Edition. So you're going to put on your detective hat, and you're going to figure out what killed this piece of writing. So let me stop my share. Okay, so I have a lot of doctors in my family, and they always taught me that if you're unsure of the cause of death, you can always claim heart failure, all right? Now, this memo was a real one to George W. Bush. And even though I didn't know him personally, he wasn't well known for his attention span, similar to our current president.
Mm-hmm.
So the founder of the Whelan Group, Michael Whelan, has lived in Washington, D.C. all his life. And he was at a cocktail party, and he happened to be there with the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and he was given a classified sample. So this is the kind of stuff that really ends up on the president's desk. So let's look back at the book. And you essentially failed it, but let's look at this question. What overall grade do you think the writer of the letter would expect it to receive? And by the way, it's signed Dwight Harbinger, but we're the Office fans. We like to think of him as Dwight Schrute.
Okay.
So
great.
What grade do you think Dwight Harbinger would give himself?
So what grade do I think the writer of the letter would expect it to receive? I think a very high grade, because if it's been cleared and sent over to the office of the president, I think the writer would expect it to be well written, well produced, etc.
Right. So what grade would he give himself?
Like a 9, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So why do we have this big disparity between the grade that you gave him and the grade that he gave himself. Why? So from your answer comes the fundamental premise, the first secret of powerful business writing. And it's the fundamental premise of this workshop. Okay, so let me share. Okay, so let's look at this picture. What do you see?
I see an image of half a man.
Okay, so like straight on, half of it, he's cut in half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see anything else?
I guess I see maybe like the shadow or what's filled in on the other half.
Is there another way to look at it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you see it now?
Yes, you can see it going like this way, left, right when you look at it, but I don't know exactly what it is.
So either
it's a profile.
Yeah, exactly. Either he's facing forward and there's half of his body, or you can also look at it like he's facing sideways in profile.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. So here's another one. What do you see?
I see a young lady with a bonnet and
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see anything else?
Yes, I see an old lady.
Right.
Staring to my left.
Right. Exactly.
Ooh.
So the young lady's necklace turns into the old lady's thin mouth, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So why am I showing you this? Well, both of these pictures have two perspectives, right? So when it comes to writing, there are two seats. If we're sitting at a table, we have two seats. And what side of the table did Dwight sit at?
Dwight sat at his seat.
The writer's seat, right?
Yes.
And what seat did you take?
The reader's seat.
Right, right. President Trump, the reader's seat, right. So that leads us to the first secret, which is take the reader's seat. Okay? And you can write these in as we discover them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that concludes my sharing of the first secret.